Commentate some more Dota 2. Here for some more League of Lads Season 6 action. Plan on being joined by Snow and Artorias for tonight, but for various reasons, both of them will not be joining me, and it will be me commentating some Dota 2. Seeing some relatively normal bands here. Puck, Nyx, DP, all top of the meta heroes. Earth Spirit, both a pretty good hero and respect banning out, I believe. Malefic's Earth Spirit, but I know somebody on Stepbro I'm stuck is a very good Earth Spirit player. Seeing a Grimstoke overall first pick into an Oracle overall first response pick. And we have to get into a good old draft. The usual affair in that sense. Might see some strong top of the meta cores here, possibly some offlaners picked here. Could be some fours, could even be a carry or two depending. And we will get that carry, which means we'll see a Grimstroke Juggernaut lane combo. Pretty potent combo there. I mean, Inkswell with spin, good defensive tools. Not good defensive tools, but I suppose an AoE slow could be enough to help your Juggernaut run away. Or a single target silence as well, for that matter. And then, now if you're Stepbro I'm stuck, you at the very least know what carry hero you expect to be running up against. I would be somewhat surprised if we do not see the Juggernaut as the safe lane farming carry. And they would bomb the carry of their own, being that Terrorblade. Another one of the very good carries in this patch. Probably not the best carry in the patch, but still a very good carry in this patch. Certainly one that Stepbro I'm stuck plays very well. If memory serves, some teams actually first phase banned the Terrorblade up against this team in the past. So it makes a bit of sense that they would get it now before that second ban phase, and possibly one of the 3 bans in that phase goes onto the TB. So in a sense, it makes a lot of good sense there to do that. Saying the word sense a bit too much tonight, but it makes logical sense as a drafter to do that when you're possibly afraid of a second phase ban of one of your team's most comfortable meta heroes. Either way, though, the Ranger of Wind and the Zeus hero will be joining the banning phase. Probably not going to go too hard until more stuff appears in the draft, because I got a while to go. I've got, at the very least, probably another hour and change, up to possibly a 2-hour journey for this League of Lads Season 6 action coming up ahead, so I'd best not go too hard. But we are seeing heroes. I mean, obviously Winter could be a flex pick, but a lot of mids being banned out here. I mean, Zeus and Invoker, certainly middle lane heroes being banned out. So it makes a degree of sense that they're being banned here. You'll also see Lash get banned. A lot of mid laners being banned here. That is already 6 different mid laners being banned, which is certainly interesting. That means we're going to see a lot of the strong offlaners make it through the ban phases here. We will see Beastmaster available. We will see Mars available if a team wants that, or Sand King will be available. All these heroes still are on the table, as is OD for that matter. OD is still available as well. So that hero could possibly get picked by either of the teams, though I would be somewhat shocked if Stepbro I'm stuck picks the OD here, considering they already have an Oracle. We'll see Batrider banned as well. Nice little flex pick there between the 2 and the 3. It's a good hero to have banned down, that's for sure. Especially up against a Juggernaut who has certainly a good means of... he certainly does not want to be lassoed, let's put it that way. Lasso, a very good tool of going through that magic immunity. And you know, you're probably not going to pick the Batrider yourself as well, knowing there's an Oracle on the Dire team, so it's a very good ban there. You will see Storm banned as well. I'm actually genuinely curious as to what we see mid lane at this point. We're seeing a lot of mids get banned here. Obviously, Queen of Pain's still available if either team wants that. Some right clickers still available. I mean, hey, you could even put a Rubik medal. It's always an option if you want to go that direction. But should be interesting to see where exactly we go here in terms of what heroes are available. Neither team has picked their offlaner yet, so that's always an interesting thing to see. Neither offlaner picked this late into the draft. We're going to see a situation here where both teams know exactly what safe lane combos they're going to run against. And if either dudes who say, you know what, I'm fine putting a Sand King there into a TB Oracle lane. Sure, might not have the greatest of time in terms of killing a TB unless you have catch him out there at the Caustic Finale plus Burrow Strike. But you know a TB Oracle might have a difficult time completely zoning a Sand King out of lane. Will certainly require some Sentry Wards, possibly a Dust in there. You can always run the Sand King there with the Grimstroke as a 4 if you want to do that as well, so there's a decent amount of options on the table. But as it currently stands, both teams doing relatively standard meta drafts with a preference towards the heroes that they like to pick. Not the most descriptive sentence in the world, but it makes a degree of sense. They want their comfort heroes, and they want their comfort heroes now. This pick here, though, by Stepbro and Stuck will start to really put the draft together in terms of what both teams want. And we're going to see an Axe. Obviously, not the greatest offlaner in terms of meta value, but in terms of being a Juggernaut, quite the good hero. Obviously has that BKB piercing AoE stun, quite good into the Jug. Buys a Blink, buys a Blade Mail usually as well. So certainly a very good traditional hero matchup into that Juggernaut. So it's a very good offlane pick, assuming they can have a decent lane. And we will now see that OD. I'm not really sure how they're going to run the OD yet. Could be as a 4, could be as a mid even, but certainly a very good counter pick to that Axe. You see the Axe go in on your Jug, you easily can save him with that imprisonment. So now Axe has to be very cognizant of the Juggernauts and the OD's positioning relative to the Juggernauts. So this is a very good OD pick. I'm still somewhat shocked that OD made it as late through the draft as it did. Sometimes a hero like OD just doesn't get banned, doesn't get picked. I mean, we're now seeing it come into action here. I would not be shocked if we see Axe look to target the OD in the team fights. But the problem is, say the OD's run as a 4, let's just say it's run as a 5, doesn't really matter. You might be committing your Axe to go onto a backline support who might be positioned far back with, like, say, like a Blink and an Aether Lens and an Aghanim Scepter, so might not be the easiest kill in the world. We will see Viper banned, and we'll see Axe banned. Looks like both teams are still under the expectations that both teams need a mid here. So you'll once again see these mid bans cascade in. If you consider Batrider to be a mid, which once again you can do depending. That's 10 mid laners already banned this draft, which is an unbelievable amount of mids to get banned. Seeing Pugna banned as well, so it's possible that they do run the OD middle. Obviously, Pugna is considered one of the traditional counters to an OD mid. So if you do want to run the OD middle, you can do it now that Pugna is banned. A lot of the OD counters in general happen to be banned, but I probably would not advise it still. There are still OD mid counters in the pool if they want that. Obviously not my call to make though. You will see Clock banned as well. They seem to be, this is the last ban. They say, alright, maybe it is the OD middle. Let's ban a 4 hero instead. Clockwork can be quite annoying into our Terrorblade. It can be quite annoying in terms of our Oracle trying to do things in the fights. Might disrupt an Axe initiation by having a counter Cogs. So there's a lot of playing potential there for a Clockwork 4 if that was what Radiant wanted, but we will not be seeing that because it is now banned. still actually a very sizable amount of reserve time left, so we are just going to wait on this pick. I'm not going to speculate too much, but I would somewhat expect a middle laner still. OD mid is still possible, but if your OD is middle lane, then that almost incentivizes more people to jump onto the OD, which negates a bit of his effectiveness as a savior. But obviously, OD can still be quite effective this game. Burst out with Terrorblade, possibly go into a backline support, disrupt them completely from the fight, say, reduce the game impact of the Oracle and the Rubik, for example. It is still possible as well that Stepbro I'm Stuck could flex the Rubik to mid, depending on how they're feeling on this fine day. We're seeing KU in the all chat saying that the Krusty Krab is unfair, that Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression. It's quite the fine reference there. Alright, we will see an OD middle lane, I'm assuming. Unless there's something very, very weird here. We're going to see OD back to mid lane. I believe this is the 4th different role I've seen OD played in League of Lads this season. Obviously, we saw M-John play him offlane. We saw... I've casted M-John playing it offlane. I've casted Turtle King playing as a 5. I believe I've casted it being played as a 4 as well, and now we're going to see it played here as a mid laner, which is... It's interesting to see this hero just so versatile and so flexible in the draft. If you could basically run it anywhere, then this is that quite strong tool to be picking in the draft. It's a shame that Artorias was unable to make it tonight. He actually was one of my planned co-commentators for this game. He is a League of Lads resident Coddle expert, and he will not be here for this Coddle cast to critique whether or not, say, the Coddle buys an Aghanim is the first item. It's certainly the one thing that he has impressed upon me in terms of things Coddle should be doing is buying Ags first, so I'll have to watch exactly who buys what there on Coddle. We're seeing that they want all the reserve time to be used for DOS. And Stepbro I'm Stuck, they'll pick Void Spirit. So that's certainly the middle laner for Dire. Looks like we'll be seeing the OD middle lane. I believe PMA plays middle lane for 5 average dudes. For some reason, I still think of him as like a carry sort of player, but obviously, I remember I thought I saw him playing carry recently in another game, but I'd still be somewhat shocked if we saw the OD safely in farming core. Yeah, there we go. There's DOS playing the, I'm assuming, carry jug. Yeah, CB is going to play 4 Coddle, and then Notorious will end up playing the 5 Grimstroke. In the part of the game, early part of the lobby, I believe it was DOS was having some difficulties connecting to the Discord. Might have been someone else. I'm not sure if they've figured out the Discord situation yet, but if not, we'll probably see some sort of pause very early on. I genuinely cannot remember if Turkey is their normal guy or if they've just changed the name on Stepbro I'm Stuck. But people changing names is definitely not out of the realm of ordinary. If you want to see who's playing what, it is on your screen right now. Everybody has selected their heroes. Should be fun. I look forward to this one. Should be a very exciting game. There's a lot of team fight potential in these heroes. I mean, you look at some of these heroes in the game. I mean, you look at OD, Sand King, Axe, Void Spirit. They're exciting heroes to cast. I'm looking forward to this. Here we go, here we go. Dota 2 is here. And we are here for some Wednesday night Dota. We have 5 average dudes on the Radiant team. And we have Stepbro, I'm stuck on the Dire team. As it currently stands, both teams looking for that playoff position. Stepbro, I'm stuck, currently one of the top teams by record in the League of Lads, but 5 average dudes. It took a win off a Dark W. They are certainly a very respectable Dota team as well. So I'm very excited here for some exciting Dota 2 action. We're seeing an observer already placed here by CB. Looking at Radiant Vision, gets all the way over here. Just south of that chicken splat placed by KU. Dire not even going into the Radiant side safe lane. Rubik still has that ward if he wants to place it for later. And then obviously their ward's headed to mid lane. One here, one over there. And as it currently stands, I would expect 2 runes per team. Looks like KU will not get caught here unless he gets a little bit greedy. But considering his teammates have not run into a single Radiant hero in the bottom lane, he has to figure, alright, maybe something is up. Maybe he does not die this early into the game. His instincts around the mark. He's already going to block. Will be 2 runes per team. Yeah, as expected, we'll be seeing DOS head down there on the bottom lane. Nothing too crazy in terms of laning shenanigans going on here. Seeing a crown here on PMA, which is a little bit odd, but it makes sense. Using it later. Some good CSing going on in this middle lane right now. But overall, that's a good range creep deny there from PMA. The tip already coming out there, knowing that he used mana to secure creeps, did not get the range creep lasted. A little bit of bad manners, but par for the course. A lot of brawling going on down bottom lane. Das already dead there. Already spun to death by Malefic. Possibly did not expect level 1 spin. Either way, he is now dead. Willing to TP into the lane. Need to use some more regen. Top lane supports. They're trading. KTA though has Salve, has Tangos. He is ready to go. I'm looking at the last hits into that. Oh, wait a minute, Malefic taking a lot of damage. Das not there with the spin to go in just yet. Possibly could have been a kill, but there is the Thunder. Oh, I missed the kill top. My bad. KTA being caught there by Burrow Strike. I'm assuming Illuminate. Yeah, well, caught by probably a decent duration to Illuminate. Just dies. Accidentally missed the kill there, but it's okay. Sometimes you miss kills. There's a spin bottom lane. Well, there is a spin from and a call. That's taking a lot of damage, but we'll kill Malefic first. The Rubik will get the counter kill. It will be a 1-for-1 trade so far. Meanwhile, in the top lane, CB using that salve will be fine. Will not die to KTA. Looking over at mid lane, looks like both mid laners currently leading in CS. A lot of brawling going on in the side lanes, so it might be a little bit difficult for Terrorblade or for Jug to farm a lot this game. DOS actually has no TP, so it's kind of a disaster, actually. Knowing he has no TP means he will be missing out on a lot of experience and a lot of last hits here. Having those 2 deaths early is a bit of a disaster. Thanks to the call there on Axe. Actually, it's a very good play there on Axe, even skill and call. You see a lot of Axes almost instinctively get that battle hunger. But instead, we're seeing no battle hunger. He has a 1-0-1 skill build. As a result, DOS's game is already somewhat ruined. But yeah, more brawling going on top lane. CB is very low actually, but with no Fortune's End, there will be no kill just yet. Never mind, they actually might just kill KTA here. Beast of you as East, not able to find that Burrow Strike. Malefic will die bottom to the spells of Notorious. You know, KTA and CB both taking a lot of damage. 2 kicks away. Salve was used, will delay the inevitable though. The KTA will also die. In the bottom lane, Turkey taking a lot of damage as well. Looks like Radiant will get a little bit of revenge there, thanks to a lot of levels on Notorious, leading to a lot of damage on that Grimstroke spells. Apparently my scroll wheel is not cooperating tonight. I apologize about that. It's gonna be okay though. I might need to like break my scroll wheel at some points until it's no longer usable. Bottom line, there is a call there on Malefic, trying to fish, trying to find DOS there, knowing that a call with that creep wave could mean certain death there for the Juggernaut, as he has done twice this game. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we are seeing a Fortune's End used on Sand King. We'll stop KTA from dying. We'll still disrupt that pole though, we'll drag it into that hard creep. We have a lot of farm there. However, Sentry Ward is used by KTA, finds his Ward, finds Sand King. Illuminate is there, will hit KTA. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Malefic taking some damage, does have the spin as a counter, but will not go for the call into that. Meanwhile, in top lane, almost killing Sand King there, but KTA will not get the kill. Salve is used. Meanwhile, back bottom lane, spin is used by DOS, counter to the call, but DOS is taking a lot of damage, will die to Turkey, killing spree for the Rubik. As it currently stands, DOS just not having a good game. He's literally 7th in CS right now. Not a place you want your safe lane carry to be at this stage in the game. Haven't looked in the mid lane in a while, but still around even in CS. Malefic taking a lot of damage there, but not dying just yet. But still, we're seeing a little bit of rune skirmishing going on here. Illuminate is used. KTA will not secure this rune, but should be able to get the... Never mind, will not get the other one. Solarbind was used, so he will have to walk away. CB trying to kill him. Illuminate on cooldown for now. No kill will happen.
Your name,
whoa. Alright, so that was a very good dive there by PMA. Was able to go aggressively under that tower, secure the kill there with that Sandy's Eclipse. Drops the... Did not expect that. But with the slight level advantage, knowing that the Void Spirit did not have 6, meant that he was able to successfully dive there and get that kill. And they are keeping the Siege Unit alive there in the middle lane, getting as much mid lane tower damage as they can before Void Spirit's back. We'll get about 600 damage. In that time, no, knowing that Ducatal is gone. They will go on Sand King. Burrow will be on 2 though. Beast of the US East should be fine. Does have the Mango. We'll try for it. We'll be... No, actually. Wait, no, barely still alive! Sand King will barely survive it there from the Terrorblade and the Oracle. Very good kill attempt though, knowing the Ducatal would not be there, had the TP to that mid lane. But for now, no kill. We're seeing Axe once again take a lot of damage. We're just seeing this a lot in the bottom lane. A lot of damage coming out from both teams. Rimstroke once again landing spells onto him. We are seeing a Void Spirit rotation down though. Looking at Radiant's Vision, they do know, however. There's a call though. They will still find DOS. The spin is there onto Malefic, taking a lot of damage. DOS dropping low. DOS will die 1-for-1 so far. Silence onto League of Legends will not be able to go further on Notorious. Meanwhile, top lane Solarbind is there onto KTA, but Sand King a bit too low to go further. Mid lane, tower not taking too much damage just yet. Void Spirit should return before anything too bad happens. We're going to see Illuminate used. Will not hit the Terrorblade though. Back to bottom. We'll see spin taken by Turkey on that. Oh, we'll find Oracle actually. I believe they hit him with the Burrow and the Illuminate. Was quite the fast kill, I believe. Either way, we're seeing a lot of brawling going on in these side lanes. Just a constant brawling between both of these teams, both of these side lanes. As it currently stands, Radiant at the slight advantage. Both teams getting a degree of what they want. CB taking some damage. Should be overall fine though. Burrow is there. Never mind, the kill will come to KTA instead. Finishing off CB's Coddle. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we are seeing a dive. Void Spirit once again back. They will kill DOS despite the spin. Rubik has a spin of his own. DOS is completely dead down there. I got both of those. Jesus. Sand King is once again top lane. Has the Soul Ring if he wants to go, but we'll probably just cut the wave instead. Meteor Hammer already online for the OD. Recognizing, alright, I can push some towers. I can combo with that imprisonment. Spirit is used. Will miss, however, on PMA. Void Spirit not able to get that kill just yet. Looking at top lane, Radiant wants to do something, but Dire has some idea with this Observer Ward that DOS is now up there on his Juggernaut. Jug certainly suffering as of now. He is now at least top 6 in last hits and denies, but still having a very rough game right now. Burrow is used on KTA top lane. Spin there as well from DOS. Solarbind is there. In comes Terrorblade. Has the meta. Will try to fight though. It will be a 1v... Never mind, 2v3. Void Spirit hasted up there. Spirit is used. We'll find it with the Remnant in the right clicks. However, Sand King will escape. Will be a 1-for-1 trade. Carry for Oracle at that. Turkey looking for Coddle. Will have the spin. Has the Illuminate. Will immediately cast it and break it. And there will be no kill just yet. Meanwhile, Sand King has rotated towards the bottom lane. Will burrow onto this axe. We'll get a few creeps here with that Caustic Finale, trying to kill Malefic, but Malefic a bit too tanky for now. Radiant scan ultimately unsuccessful, trying to find Terrorblade. Not able to find him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Burrow once again used. Malefic does use that call. Probably will die here though. Notorious is there. He's 4-0. However, Oracle now there, using the Fortune's End, trying to find the Grimstroke. Silence comes out onto the Rubik, but Rubik will be fine. And Dire supports will secure the Bounty Runes in the bottom. And CB on that Coddle will secure it in the top. Meanwhile, Juggernaut tries to go for that Invis Rune. Could not deny it, though, from the Void Spirit. Void Spirit will still have it. Silence is used. Stolen by Rubik. Burrow is there, though. Will be a 2v2 engagement. Notorious, huge spells. In comes the ultimate. They are together, but there is no Burrow. Still on cooldown with the Sandstorm damage. It's not enough, actually. Beast US East will go down first. Turkey will be the counter kill. KTA is still alive. Notorious not able to find it. Illuminates. It's being charged. A lot of damage onto KTA, but still alive. Void Spirit, though, he is now there. He has jumped in, looking for Notorious. He has the Simulate still available, but in comes PMA as well. Meteor Hammer is used onto KTA. He goes down. Void Spirit has no charges on the ultimate. Needs to run away here, but still has to Simulate. In comes the Rubik once again, looking for a kill. In comes the Remnant. In comes the Grimstroke once again. OD himself imprisons. Tries to stay alive. Malefic is now here, looking for a call. Will be silenced for now, but will eventually get onto PMA. PMA goes down. 2 Malefic's spins, I believe. And they will once again look for Notorious. Lift, not there. Imprisonment stolen, still not there as well. And looks like the kills will be done for now. Another very chaotic fight. A lot of deaths on both sides. Overall winner of the fight might still be this Terrorblade, who has been firing the entire time, looking to become the leader in net worth over to Sand King right now. Sand King also had a very good lands lead, still in the lead. We are seeing Axe in the bottom lane. Cut the wave. Dire circling for that bottom tower. The siege unit is still dead. Coddle is looking to defend, but he might be too deep. He's recalled the Sand King. Call is there. It's only onto 1. Epicenter is used, and there's the blink onto Malefic. The imprisonment from Rubik will save him. It's still stolen. Coddle Blast will miss. They will try to kill Malefic. They will get him, but meanwhile, League of Legends will kill Notorious on the back end of the fight. That Grimstroke, looking to join the fight, was cut off and solo killed by that Void Spirit. And the imprisonment will once again be there. Once again looking for Sand King. Remnant is there. Will hunt up Sand King, and they will kill him. Enough damage is there, and double kill for League of Legends. Alright. That is something else right there. This is a bit of a disaster right now for Radiant in this bottom lane. They once again lost some more heroes. And Coddle is still there. But Dire says, you know what, we still want this tower. We still want this tier 1 bottom. We want to get the map control. But Coddle completely depushes. Will delay that tower dying. Looking at top lane. PMA gets a solo kill onto this Terrorblade. Uses the Meteor Hammer, uses the Imprisonment combo, gets the kill, but they don't have to counter kill. In comes Void Spirit. Remnant is there. Oracle is there to simulate hits. He is now slowed by his axe. Call is there. They're dropping everything, but in comes Sand King, has a double stun. In comes the Grimstroke as well. Oracle ulti is used on axe. They're trying to keep him alive. Might need some heals. But instead, Radiant moves over to Oracle, looking for KTA. Omnislash is there from DOS. Down goes Oracle. Burrow Strike once again onto Malefic. They are still diving. In comes the Rubik. Turkey trying to get some kind of turn here. Will he run away? He's still here. Has Sandstorm. They're on Notorious. He has Fade Bolt. Might use it. He'll use it. Down goes the Grimstroke. PMA once again ready. Has Meter Hammer available. Might look for it, but instead we'll just lose that imprisonment to the Rubik once again. I shouldn't say lose. It's just temporarily duplicated. It's not like he's losing access to the imprisonment, but it's a very good steal here for this this Rubik. And a somewhat easy steal at that. PMA. Looking for KU. Meter Hammer is there. However, he will get cancelled by the Void Spirits. Now they're turning, looking for PMA. His spells are on cooldown. Down goes the OD. They're chasing CB. They have the Remnant there in 4 seconds. Might look to chase the Coddle. Coddle, meanwhile, will just run away. But overall, if you're Stepbro, I'm stuck. You have to be very, very happy with that one. Instead of your Terrorblade dying to the Meter Hammer or OD combo, you instead save his life and get a kill onto the enemy mid laner and second highest farmed hero in PMA's OD. So overall, a very successful engagement in that sense. We'll see Dire. They are smoking, looking to find some hero before this tower siege. They will find it in the Coddle, the main building defender at that. He goes down. Wait, he's still alive? Nah, he's still dead. Solarbind is used on Rubik, and Sand King looking to do something, but unable to find a big enough turn. But in comes DOS, as the OD. The Oracle ulti is there, though. We'll save Void Spirit. They will try to save him. Took a lot of damage. Oracle still healing him. Sand King has Blink in 5 seconds. Burrow in 1 second. We'll try to use it here onto the Void Spirit. Will be there. Down goes the Oracle. Radiant, though, they're still chasing. Burrow is there on Turkey's Rubik, and they will absolutely annihilate that man. And OD is looking for more, but instead we've recalled him to the top lane. They will want the Malefic. Imprisonment, it is there. Meter Hammer combo will be there. In comes the Illuminate. Will he hit it? Will absolutely land. Never mind, I think he misses the Meter Hammer. Either way, he will absolutely annihilate Malefic. Far too much damage to survive. In Dire, before they were getting a lot of successful ganking going on, but now Radiant maneuvering around this map, getting a lot of kills with this OD, successfully recalling with this Coddle, and now Radiant will look for KU's Terrorblade. Sand King is there, will blink Burrow, uses the epicenter, will get it cancelled, however. Grimstroke ulti is there, it's on the both of the main cores of the Dire. They're being stunned up, Void Spirit up is very low, he goes down, as does Notorious. They're still looking for KU, unable to chase far enough. Blink is there and Sand King on 1, comes in, cannot find him, Call is there, it will miss, but Burrow will not hit the Terrorblade. Meanwhile, on later in the fight, DOS, he's trying to look for KTA, he used the Omnislash earlier, doesn't have it now. And overall, this will be a 1-for-1 trade. Void Spirit for Grimstroke. Overall, still a pretty good trade there for Radiance, but they were unable to get the top prize, being that initial target of the gank, of that smoke gank being the Terrorblade. Speaking of Terrorblade, haven't looked at his items too much this game. Currently has the Sanj and Yasha, did not opt for the Manta. Says, you know, I would rather have that raw HP, that raw status resistance over the Purge and over the Illusions. KU obviously being a very good Terrorblade player, so I will trust him on this one. Obviously, there's not too much great stuff to purge this game in general, so maybe he just wants that raw HP and status resistance over the Illusion ability. Malefic will blink, will stun the OD immediately. They're comboing him, trying to kill him immediately. In comes Void Spirit, but in comes the Sand King, the counter chase, it's huge. It's on 4. However, OD will still die. They will sunder the Sand King. TB dropping low. He's extremely low. Oracle's still saving, however. And down goes everybody on the Dire, actually. Dire absolutely just melted. And they will kill Turkey. It's a 5-man wipe. An absolutely disastrous team fight for Stepbro. I'm stuck. They wanted to kill his OD, and they did kill the OD, but that is an unbelievably huge cost for that OD kill. Their entire team is dead. There's simply just too much damage there from Notorious in that backline, and the huge counter-initiation, the 2-man burrow into the 4-man epi from Beast of US East. And all the while, Doss is fighting. He's slowly inching into this game. He's now 4th in net worth, and while 4th might not be great, it's also only behind 1 Dire hero. So, 5 average dudes is in a very good position right now in terms of this game. They're getting key towers, they're getting key kills, they've slowed down this Void Spirits game. They're even starting to slow down this Terrorblades game. And your Shan King, the Beast of US East, is certainly living up to that name right now because he's beasting this game on the US East server. Looking at Radiant Vision, they see so many Dire heroes as well. They're seeing basically everybody on the Dire team right now. What do they see? Yeah, they see 4 Dire heroes right now. This is unbelievably great vision here by Radiance. They will recall Doss over to the Tri-Camp. They are maximizing his farm, TPing him everywhere. But instead, Doss head up this top lane. In the meanwhile, Sand King pushing out middle lane. Notorious, a little bit long. We'll simply have a Stroke of Fate stolen by Rubik. There will be no kill attempt just yet. And bounties will head mostly to the side of the Radiant as it currently stands, but there are still 2 unclaimed on our side. Double Damage Rune will go to Notorious, but Notorious will die for that. Yeah, he will absolutely die to that one, to the illusion of KU. Invis Rune is popped by Void Spirit. And Void Spirit may go for more. Looking at Dire Vision, they do see the OD, but a lot of the heroes simply are not showing, including that Sand King. And they will now see Sand King, so they can now say, alright, maybe going on to this OD might not go successfully. Looks like Radiant, though, they are still splitting this map. Doss is headed to that top lane to farm that camp. We're seeing a lot of Dire heroes around the mid lane, so Doss knows he's relatively safe. Especially knowing that this the axe is showing on that ward. Dire does not know that. Dire does not know that they're seen quite literally everywhere. Dire, they will smoke. Stepbro on stuck, looking for some kind of kill. They ping out CB in the bottom lane. They did also see Doss as well. With CB TPing away, they are going to miss the entirety of that Radiant team. They may still sit around for some of the TP in here. May just push the wave with the Terrorblade into the tower. As it currently stands, if looking for a kill, they are going to miss it. Both Radiant and Dire will scan. Both those scans will miss. Radiant's being into that Dire jungle. Dire's onto the Radiant Tier 2 tower area. Obviously no heroes in that area at all. But both teams will be content with pushing the Tier 2 towers. Radiant will be onto that top Tier 2. Dire onto that bottom Tier 2. So Radiant more successful with the push. TV still holding onto that meta. In comes Sand King. They may look to turn here. Terror Wave is available. He does have that Aghanim Scepter available on Terrorblade, so you may have to use that Terror Wave soon just to disrupt the Sand King. Maybe bring him out of the Sandstorm. That'd be the idea of that purchase. Dire is holding the high ground. They will recall the Sand King. Radiant will once again be 5-manned. And they will smoke on 4, everyone but Doss. Looking at Dire, they appear not to know completely what's going on, but they're still backing. But they're a little bit split. They will blink onto Malefic. Malefic taking a lot of damage. Call is there onto 1, but just delaying the inevitable. He will die. Radiant will look for more, but they probably will not find anybody, barring a misstep from Stepbro. I'm stuck. Meanwhile, Turkey looking to possibly finish that Tier 2 tower siege bottom. He's still set up there, but there is no, yeah, the wave is coming. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Fire Dude is very content to push that Tier 2 tower middle. Meter Hammer is there. Dire is in the area on 2 heroes, but it's only really a half-hearted defense if they want to go for it, and they will instead opt to not die. Looks like Radiant circling out where the Terrorblade might be farming. and they'll be slightly off of the circle, but they certainly have the right idea of, hey, TV firing top lane. They see the illusions at that. Sand King looking for a blink. Epi is there, will not be used. They will abort the kill attempt onto Void Spirits. Meanwhile, do they see Malefic? I believe they say has some idea Malefic was there. He's going up to Juggernaut, will not find however. Call will completely miss. It is stolen Inkswell from Rubik. But Dire will still smoke, I believe, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, they will not find anything here. They will go on to Notorious with the Void Spirit, but unable to get that kill, and now he's backing before the rest of the Radiant team shows up to defend their Grimstroke player. Dire still circling around the Radiant position. They will blink there onto Turkey in that backline. Rosewarp will be there, will delay. Burrow is stolen by Rubik, will stun up 2. Will still die, however. In spite of a little bit of fancy plays, he will go down and Dire will completely disengage. Content to firing up Terrorblade, content with pushing that bottom tier 2 tower. And Radiant now, they're beginning to siege the high grounds. They are slowly beginning the process of shipping at the base. But with no creeps being here, that's an easier said than done proposition. Radiance. They were looking for Terrorblade, were unable to find him. KU simply slipping away. Will TP to that bottom tier 2. Scan is there by Radiant. They were looking for him, but 5 average dudes unable to find the Terrorblade at this current time. Looking over Coddle. It's like Yasha was lost by DOS. Courier did die to that Void Spirit in the mid lane. But Coddle did not opt for the Axis game, did opt for the Force Staff first. Looking for positioning over that fully finished Aghanim's Scepter. DOS has a full Mjolnir at that. Certainly slightly weird, but it makes a degree of sense. Didn't feel like he had the space for Battle Fury. Want to finish the Mjolnir for that defensive shield there. Looks like Radiant is picking out the Roshan. Dire completely far away from it, so this will be a relatively easy Roche kill unless Dire TP's in now. Looking at Dire Vision, they appear to not know what's going on. They are split around the map, so they probably have some idea that Radiant's playing in this area of the map, which happens to include the Roshan right here, but looks like Radiant will simply get it uncontested. Dire will get the outpost, but it will now be an Aegis. Radiant did a little bit of chipping on the high ground earlier. We'll look to finish what they started. Odie trying to find Void Spirit with the haste rune, but despite the, I believe the Meteor Hammer combo was hit, wasn't able to find any kind of initiation there. DOS TPing into the bottom lane, but KTA's Oracle will be fine. Malefic on Axe, though, might not be fine. PMA is looking, has 2 charges on that Imprisonment. The Blink is on cooldown. They're looking. Imprisonment. Still looking for Axe, but Axe at this point a little bit too far away. But we are seeing a very key item here on KU's Terrorblade. BKB is there. Huge defense against the majority of damage from both the Sand King and the OD. We'll find out with the Burrow Strike though. BKB is popped. In comes the meta. They're looking for everything. And they once again kill Notorious. CB taking a lot of damage. BKB pop with the Void Spirit as well. But DOS has the Omni Slash. It's huge. It's onto 3. Oracle dropping low. Oracle not dead. Malefic though has a 2-man call. Down goes Sand King. With the Sunder, KU is absolutely fine. They're not looking for PMA. He has a self-imprisonment, has another one as well, but in comes DOS. After 8 is looking to fight. Call is there, only on 1. PMA blinks away. Imprisonment is there. Will end up... Malefic's still fine, but down goes DOS. Now PMA, he's fighting against the world. The world is very injured, however, if he wants to fight this, but he's going to have to run away, and that is an unbelievable disaster of a team fight for 5 average dudes. They fought with the Aegis, but numerically they came out with much, much more in terms of death column. An absolute disaster at that. And it's not a great start to a team fight there. Dire was ready. They had all the defensive abilities they needed. And it was just a very good Sunder there from KU. A very good false promise from KTA. It It was just enough to keep the Terrorblade alive, and because Terrorblade was alive, he was able to just dish out so much damage with the meta, with the illusions. Like, we even saw the Terror Wave used there. This is a bit of a disaster right now. But, if you're Fire Average dudes, you have to say, alright, this is somewhat fine still. Things are okay. Maybe we didn't actually need the Aegis, but you have to be a little bit nervous. I mean, looking over at the net worth graph, that's a lot of net worth being lost. Win probability. Similar story. I mean, that Terrorblade BKB just so effective in the last fight. Had the BKB not been there, Radiant would have absolutely just eviscerated that man with the initial jump with the burrow. And DOS dying bottom lane, caught alone, caught out by that axe call. Too far into a no business situation. Yeah, they had no idea where the Radiant or the Dire Heroes were. The Dire Heroes happened to be in that Radiant jungle, just destroying that Juggernaut. Radiant will grab the outpost. That will be one outpost apiece for this 30-minute XP drop. And looking over key items, Terrorblade working on that Scotty. He had it queued up earlier, but ultimately opted for 2 more items. KU's Terrorblade, he's looking for the outpost. Radiant, however, will cancel. Never mind. Will it be? Dire captures it just in time. And Dire will have both outposts for 30 minutes, barely in time. Notorious tried to delay that, but ultimately was unsuccessful, and now Radiant has neither of the outposts. Bounty runes will be even splits. Yeah, 2 bounty runes per team. And yeah, going up to Terrorblade's items, he is working on that Scotty now. Will be his 4th item once he finishes that. Will be unbelievably tanky as well. Just accumulating those stats. Rubik has Ags, has Aether, his cast range is massive, especially when he keeps stealing Imprisonment in these fights. He's just a very annoying hero to deal with. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Axe, they go on PMA. PMA a lot there, will kill Malefic instead. In Dire, they are smoking, they are looking for possibly a Radiant hero or 2 here. Imprisonment is there, it's on 2 from Turkey. In comes Remnant, will hit onto the Grimstroke. Grimstroke dropping low, Sand King dropping low. Sand King will use Sandstorm, down goes Notorious. Looking for the burrow. He will escape. They are chasing. And they appear not to have enough chase to go on to Beast of the US East. CB on Coddle, force-staffing away wisely, not wanting to deal with those congregation of Dire Heroes. Ultimately will be a 1-for-1. Malefic for Grimstroke, but albeit in a little bit of a segmented method of dying there. As it currently stands, as expected, TB still on top in terms of net worth, followed by basically every core not called Malefic's Axe. 4 heroes in a very close area there, being all 3 Dire cores and that Void Spirit. Sand King, as expected, has fallen off from that #1 net worth lead, now at number 5 in net worth, though still about 3.5k above the counterpart being the Axe. Coddle does recall Dawson to that bottom lane, looking to D-push against that Terrorblade Illusion and that Siege unit. Will be successful at that, because it's Illusion and creeps, but still. D-ward there from KTA. We'll try to limit that Radiant vision, and we saw it earlier. Radiant had a very good vision game, a lot of aggressive wards in the lane area, in the jungle area. But now, currently there are no Radiant wards up. Dire, knowing they've gotten these D-wards off, will smoke up, and Radiant has no idea what's going on. Dire, they see a lot of Radiant heroes here. They're looking. Malefic is there, has the blink, will be on Grimstroke. They're looking for Sand King as well. Fear is used by Terrorblade. It's on 2. Sand King is going away. But Grimstroke is completely dead. Remnant is there. It's on to Sand King. Trying to kill him. Beast of US East will be imprisoned and will burrow, but still gets chased here. He's just so crafty. Sandstorm is stolen by Rubik. Sand King's still alive. He once again gets imprisoned by PMA. But yeah, it will only delay. It's a very good attempt there to save their Sand King, but meanwhile they will go on to the OD, stolen imprisonment by the Rubik, and they will absolutely annihilate PMA's OD. Once again, it's the stolen imprisonment there by Rubik. It's just so powerful. This has got to be like the 5th or 6th time in this game that the Rubik's stolen imprisonments has been used to great effect. Good look for DOS. Call will miss, however. The call will not hit on DOS. They will not find that kill. And KU will try to kill this tower. They will look for Coddle. Wood Spirit is in, TB is hitting, but the Omni Slash is there. It's on the 2. Urkulti is using Terrorblade. Down goes Coddle. Sunder is there. Notorious will be dead. Void Spirit is still alive under that BKB. DOS uses Spin. He has very few tools left. Defensive Mjolnir is used. Remnant will miss from Void Spirit. And the stolen Rubik Omni Slash will absolutely. Never mind, he's not Omni Slash. He just killed him with the illusion, I should say. There's so much damage there. Now Radiant, they're defending this high ground with only 2 heroes. Jug is buyback, but PMA is still there for now. Coddle is still there for now, and Terrorblade is just... he's killing the buildings. The disarm is there. Used by Oracle, which is a little bit interesting. But now, Dire, they are starting to retreat. TB is running. Rubik setting up the imprisonments on the Sand King just for the escape. And now Radiant will not be able to find anybody on the retreat just yet. They don't see anybody either, so they'll probably simply have to tend the lanes here, but they did save the barracks. Barracks are still alive. So while it was a successful high ground siege for the Dire, they were unable to get any buildings. But yeah, the lead for Stepbro, I'm stuck. It simply gets larger and larger. And what was a somewhat significant lead for 5 average dudes earlier in the game has turned into a very significant lead for Stepbro, I'm stuck. As it currently stands, they are in a very commanding position to take over this game. They pick up key item after key item on their heroes. I mean, Axe's BKB. Blade Spirit still has an 8-second BKB. Terrorblade still has the 8-second BKB. And Terrorblade... supposed to Butterfly. Blink is there. It's on DOS. They will absolutely annihilate DOS with the Blade Nail, with the Blink Call, with the Terrorblade damage from the meta and that fear. However, DOS does have buyback. Dire, meanwhile, will look inside the Roche pit. Roche will spawn very soon, and I think they barely missed the Roshan spawning. Alright, they will see it this time. KTA did note that the Roshan did respawn. They may look for this top tier 2 instead, but the wave is already far up there. PMA done a very good job of split pushing. However, never mind, Dire unable to find him. Void Spirit, good idea. Double Remnant into, double jump into the Remnant, but they are unable to find him. However, the big prize is there in that Roshan pit. Terrorblade is in. He is hitting. Radiant, they have an idea what's going on. They have some heroes in the area. They are smoked up there on Notorious and on Beast of US East. He's going to need, however, a huge initiation. It might be a difficult one at that. In comes Void Spirit. He's going in. They're looking for it. The link is there. Onto both of the Dire huge cores, but Notorious will once again die. Sinking when the backlines, unable to find anybody important. Malefic, meanwhile, finds OD, immediately kills him. Buyback is there on OD if they want to fight. Meanwhile, Beast of US East, he's completely isolated. Dire have a dust. They've got 2 dusts, but they're both on cooldown. Sand King will simply have to run away. And Dire will completely kill that Roshan. Terrorblade's still full HP. Still has meta as well, so they can certainly go high ground right here, right now if they want to. Yeah, the Sand King even baited in there by the late grab of the Aegis. Probably an accident there by Dire, but happy little accident for them at that, because they will kill Beast of US East. There's an Omnislash 2's bottom lane. DOS will kill the Axe. However, he might die for this. He's also dead. So it's like Malefic tried to kill Axe in the bottom lane. Was unsuccessful, but, well, I should say, he died for it. Because DOS is dead. So across the map, Radiant heroes are dying. And when it comes down to it now, they will have to buy back on probably 2 heroes if they want to defend this high ground. Meta is there from Terrorblade. Middle racks, they are dead. They will hit the bottom lane. They're going for this tower. Tier 3 is dead. Radiance. They are being bought in the backlines. Void Spirit is there. Imprisonment from OD. In comes Terrorblade once again. He will blink forward with that Agi blink. Down goes Notorious. The imprisonment is there, and they will look there for this OD. They will taunt him up. BKB is used by Void Spirit, and they will absolutely destroy him. The Will-O-Wisp is used by Coddle, trying to disrupt that team fight, but it's nowhere near enough. OD has to buy back. Juggernaut's still dead. Sinking has naturally respawned, so it is possibly time to defend now. But Dire will simply say, alright, OD is missing, he's alive, time to leave. We got Arax here, we got Arax there, dead, 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 and dead, dead. Let's go back, get some tier 4 neutral items. Let's reset, get some more cooldowns. We are completely happy getting 2 sets of Arax. And a buyback there from Outworld Devourer. Outworld Destroyer, my bad. Alright. Radiant, they say, alright, we're not just going to lose this game immediately. We need to fight. If we sit back, they're going to beat us. We need to go for an odd team fight. Dire? The Oracle, that's a good target to go on. Will-O-Wisp is there. We'll sleep 2 of them. Epicenter is there from Sand King, but never mind, it will be cancelled by that taunt from the Void Spirits. There will be no kill for now. Now Radiant, they're already retreating. Dire made for a counter jump. Call is there onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut taking a lot of damage. In comes Void Spirit. In comes the entirety of that Dire team. Epi is there at the Terrorblade, but there's the Sunder. He's taking a ton of damage. Omni Slash is there. Or, I'm sorry, the Swift Slash is there, but the Call is there as well. He is being saved by the OD. Jug's still alive. Down goes Notorious. Down goes Doss. In this fight, it's a disaster. Malefic did die as well, but he bought back. And Radiant do not have the buybacks to use. Die back there from the OD. Beast Views, he's trying to stay alive. Rubik is there, though. Will lift the Sand King. Will get lifted himself by the Lotus Orb, but it's okay. CB is dead. Beast of Views, he's being brought down. It's a full 5-man wipe, and GG is called. And that's game. And what ultimately was a very close game early in the game snowballed out of control for Stepbro. I'm stuck. It's a very well executed mid and late game. They took control of the vision game the 5 average dudes had the advantage in. They took control of the team fights, and we saw it right there. Terrorblade buys that BKB, and then literally like 12 seconds later, the Radiant jump on him. And as a result of the BKB being available on the Terrorblade, they win that pivotal mid-game team fight. And what was the significant 5 average dudes advantage seen on the graph over here, this little bump here, this little 4K or so net worth, sorry, this little bump here, is completely disintegrated thanks to that team fight. And as a result, KU became far too big to fail on the Terrorblade. And 5 average dudes simply was not large enough to deal with the Terrorblade. PMA was caught by that Malefic axe sometimes. The Rubik played unbelievably well with that stolen imprisonment throughout the game, and ultimately it will be a loss for 5 average dudes. But they will look for some degree of turn in game number 2. They say, you know what, we were leading for a good amount of this game. We played well in the laning phase. We played well in the early game fights. We did some good things in that last game. Maybe if we change a little bit up, we can get a win in game number 2 instead. But hopefully Notorious tags up the lobby properly, so I don't have to put 1 game to 1 in the top of my or sorry, 1 game to 0 in the top of my screen. If we're doing Vegas odds on that one, it's probably about a 50% chance that we will see the games marked in the top of the screen. Obviously a pet peeve for basically every commentator alive. So we'll have to see what they do here. I think if you're both teams, though, there's a lot of adjustments to make. If you're Stepbro, I'm stuck. It comes down to you have to do a very good job of being ready for the aggression of 5 average dudes. You need to be careful of overextending. We saw a key team fight there where Stepbro, I'm stuck, overcommitted onto an OD. And thanks to a huge turn there, ended up being, I believe, a 5-for-1 team fight with only the OD dying on the Radiant in terms of the entire Dire team dying. So those sorts of overextensions allowed for 5 average dudes to take advantage. Well, if you're 5 average dudes, you have a lot more to work on. 2 things come to mind. Is one, you need to help secure Doss's lane. Doss had a bit of a disaster lane there in the bottom lane. He got absolutely eviscerated by that axe pick. He died twice in the first minute and a half. Had no TP to even return to lane at that point, so maybe you need to save his hero pick until after they see the Stepbro I'm stuck off-lane dual lane. And then, I mean, they had the right idea there. The main key team fight changed because Terrorblade had BKB. Had they have jumped on Terrorblade literally 15 seconds earlier, might be a different situation right now, but ultimately they still need to win the mid-game team fights. Even if Terrorblade is BKB, they need to be cognizant of that key item timing and need to be ready to play around the key items that Dire are buying. I don't know, it should be fun. Should be fun to see what happens here. I'm going to grab a little bit of water real fast between Game 1 and Game 2. When I come back, we'll be a little bit into the draft. Let's just tag a... let's put on a little text. Let's add text. Okay. Gee, I will wait until the game starts. In case they ask if I'm ready to go, so that way I can say, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to commentate some more Dota 2. I would expect the game to start relatively soon anyways. We're just waiting on who are we waiting on to join the slot right now? We're waiting on a Beast of US East. No, yeah, never mind. He's on the wrong team, actually. Alright, both teams are not successfully getting into lobby slots right now, so maybe we will not be starting anytime soon. Alright, teams still successfully not getting into slots. We appear to be seeing some disagreements regarding slots right now in terms of lobby slots, so that's going to possibly hold us up for a little bit longer. Ay ay ay. I'm a little bit afraid to walk away and grab water, because if I do, they might Sasuke Caster G. Notorious asking G. So maybe we are moving there. We are still waiting on Teddy to take a slot. We did it. We are successfully in the slots. Alright, I'll be right back. I expect some similar bans here, possibly TB being banned first place, but I'm going to walk away and we're going to find out. I'll be right back. Okay. So we'll be seeing something slightly different here. Let's just turn off the BRB water thing real fast. Okay. Nope, they unsuccessfully tagged the stuff. Okay, let's just take this from the last time teams didn't do it properly. Let's change the text here to Stepbro 05 dudes. Let's make it a little bit smaller this time. Like, I don't know, maybe this small. Okay. That's successful, I'm sure. Okay, so as it currently stands, we are slightly different this game in terms of bans. OD will get banned this game, as will Oracle, DP, and Puck still being banned. They were banned first phase last game. We'll be banned first phase this game. And then we'll see the Knicks, who was first phase banned last game, get picked first overall this game. 5 average dudes will once again take the Grimstroke. I'm assuming for Notorious. Stepbro, I'm stuck. Respond with that Vengeful Spirit. 5 average dudes once again up for support. And they go for that Coddle. Let's just turn down my mic real fast. Yeah, we're going to see a couple of bans come out here. Doom, a little surprised Doom's getting banned here, but Doom does get banned. It is a counter to the Nyx Assassin, especially the Nyx Assassin in the burrows. It makes a degree of sense. Especially if they think that 5 average dudes might pick it. Meanwhile, a lot of carries being banned. I mean, the story of the ban phase last game was mids being banned. I think we saw 10 different mids get banned last game, 11 different mids get banned last game. Now we're seeing carries get banned. Monkey King is out, Jug is out, Terrorblade is out, Ricky is out, so if nothing else, it produces some interesting drafting. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a Wraith King this game. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some real off-meta carry to be picked. I wouldn't expect it to be that too far into the off-meta situation. Gonna need some Cheez-Its 1 second.
Team pick. Radiant team pick.
Alright. Another carry being banned in that Troll Warlord. And we will see a Mars picked instead. A hero that I'm somewhat surprised was not contested all last game. Will be certainly contested in this game. Picked in the second pick phase, 4 or 5 average dudes. And now you have to ask yourself, alright, what hero can lane into Mars that is not already banned? Lifestealer is possible, but Lifestealer really not in the meta at this point. I don't think I've seen too much Lifestealer in this current patch. Haven't really seen him in any League Labs games I've cast, and haven't seen him in any pub games. Haven't really seen him in any pro games, so it might not be in the mind right now. But they might just need to be cognizant of that Mars pick, knowing that almost no matter who they pick as a carry, the moment Mars gets 6, that is a lane that Radiant carry cannot enter. You might simply have to leave support there. However, they they do have the Vengeful Spirit, who is a decent counterplay hero into the Mars when it comes to the mid and late game. If Mars hits a arena onto a key hero that does not have BKB, or a key hero that gets stunned, Venge can use that defensive swap. KTA, very good Venge player. Very good at defensive supports in general, so should work out pretty well for Stepbro Stuck. And they will opt for Sand King when it comes to their offlaner choice. A hero they picked, a hero that was picked last game, although not by Stepbro Stuck. We saw it on the 5 average dude side. You're saying, you know what? We saw your Sand King last game. It's played pretty well. Maybe we can do better. And more importantly, we can bring home the W. Hope to see. We're seeing certainly less reserve time later into the draft phase at this point. I honestly can't tell if people are memeing at this point when they say things like "Who won last game?" I definitely had the visual indicator a bit too large last time. I did shrink it down, but Stepbro Stuck did win game number 1. Neither team marked it. They were not able to mark it correctly in the lobby, sadly. I did talk about it before I grabbed water. And unfortunately, I believe it was Notorious hosting the lobby. He was unable to successfully tag things. We'll see Lycanthrope picked. Certainly an interesting hero. I would expect Lycan to suffer for the first few minutes of the game, but them do a very, very good job after that. Early levels into Sand King might have a rough time, but once Lycan gets a Necro Book and Abyssal Blade, certainly a very good hero at dealing into that Sand King. And if Sand King starts taking over the lane, you can easily go into the jungle there on Lycan, so you have a lot of options if you're a Lycan player here. I would expect Dolls to have a somewhat better game than last game, but I did mention it between the games that they really need to secure Dawson's lane this game. And if Sand King shuts the Lycan down early, it might be a very rough showing for what's to come. We'll see an Ember Spirit pick there by Stepbro Stuck. Alright. I am ready to go. Ate a few more Cheez-Its. I don't need any more food. But this Ember Spirit pick should be relatively interesting. I would expect it to be played well. So mid laner Stepbro Stuck. I'm just gonna call him League of Legends, got to be tagged up as in game. Certainly a good Spirit player. Played Void Spirit very well last game. Believe I've seen him play Ember Spirit before, so should be pretty successful. We will see Stepbro Stuck though. We'll ban out Void Spirit. 5 average dudes will ban out that Phantom Lancer. Bit of an off meta carry, but certainly one you don't want to deal with if you're 5 average dudes. PL can Doppelganger out of the Mars ulti, so in terms of carries that can lane against Mars, PL definitely in the better group. And Stepbro Stuck will ban out the Invoker. Makes a lot of sense. Lanes well into the Ember Spirit. Can use Tornado to purge off Flame Guard. Combos very well with the Mars and the team fights thanks to Meteor, Deafening Blast, Cataclysm, all that fun Dota 2 stuff. EMP. Should be fun though. Should be a good time. I'm interested to see though what Stepbro Stuck here pick as their carry. I would highly expect them to pick their carry here. It would shock me if they go otherwise. And Phantom Assassin being banned as well. Obviously here who can blink out of the Mars arena, but we'll need a friend or a creep or something along those lines to actually get out of it. If they're being a little bit crazy, they can go Ember safe lane, but I would doubt it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Huh. So probably a Tide carry, Ember mid, Sand King offlane, though we could see that flex around. Sand King can play carry if he needs to, Tide can play offlane, Ember can go safe lane, Tide can go mid lane. There's a lot of options here depending on what 5 Ember dudes pick with their ultimate pick. This is certainly an odd pick. I like it. I don't know if it's good, but I like it, so that's what matters. Should be an exciting hero to watch, seeing this, not only a Tide Hunter, but possibly a 2-position Tide Hunter. Possibly even a 1-position Tide Hunter. And they'll go Dusa instead, so almost the exact opposite approach. It's like, alright, we're going to pick Tide Hunter. We're going to pick a literal offlaner to play our core position. And if I were to do something, you know what? We want to win the late game. We're going to pick Dusa. Literal Medusa. Who's playing one on Dire? Relatively straightforward. DOS carry Lycan, PMA mid Dusa, Beast of US East. Back in the offlane again on Mars, and then Notorious Lich, CB. So we'll see actually CB take up the Grimstroke this game. Notorious will not go for a back-to-back Grimstroke game. We'll head on over to the Lich this game. We'll give the Grimstroke over to CB. So we'll be seeing a mid-tide. Okay, so I mean, Ember Spirit certainly a carry who can get out of the Mars ulti. I was mentioning earlier in the draft that a lot of carries just simply have to leave the lane against Mars once Mars gets 6, because arenas simply, say you're playing, I don't know, Luna, for example. If Mars hits 6, you straight have to leave the lane no matter what happens. I mean, I'm sure Luna's not a great example because Luna can leave the lane to jungle, but a lot of carries that just can't leave the Mars ultimate simply are stuck there and they just die or they have to leave. Ember Spear, however, if Ember hits 6 before Mars hits 6, then Ember can simply defensively remnant out of the Mars arena. Ember can dodge the Mars Spear, the Sleight of Fist. There's a lot of good counterplay options there on KU, and there's always Flame Guard as an option as well, so a lot of that magical based damage can be negated by Ember Spear. This is a very good Ember option. But regardless, we are looking forward to some pretty interesting Defensive Ancients too. It should be a very... This is 2 very different draft philosophies. I personally probably prefer the Dire draft simply because it's more traditional, you know, like a standard sort of draft. But I like something in me like Stepbro on Stuck's draft. I see carry Ember, I see mid-tide, I want... you want the team that does have to win, you know what I mean? Like you want the team that plays mid-tide, carry Ember to win Dota. But I don't know if they will. So it could be interesting. Yeah, Tide certainly going mid here, has that ward. We'll put it down. I think he put the ward right here last game, where my cursor is, like just to the south of this banner. Might expect a very similar thing here. Okay, looks like Teddy has completely changed his name successfully. No longer the Beast of US East, now is Teddy. So a bit less of a mouthful to talk about when it comes to, never mind, I've completely mixed up my players. Beast of US East is on Mars. What was Teddy last game? Wait. Is this a 4 Sand King? He was playing Rupik last game, wasn't he? I am so confused. Either way, though. Should be a pretty interesting Dota game. Is that a... Okay, so Malefic... Okay, I think I understand. So Turkey was playing a stand-in Rubik. Teddy was unable to make game 1. He is their offlane player. So Malefic will be playing the 4 Nyx. And KTA, yeah, this is all standard stuff otherwise. It makes sense now. I was wondering, I don't recognize this Turkey name. And it makes sense why I didn't recognize Turkey. Because we have a different player now. This makes sense. Radiant, once again, they get a very aggressive ward into this jungle. Last game, a little bit more shallow. This game, a little bit more deep, making this a little bit harder to de-ward. Dire get a pretty deep ward as well at this area. And both teams putting up a mid ward here. I believe they're in the exact same spots as last game as well, actually. The Wolves go forward. They are hitting, but... Wait, are they going... Nah, never mind. The rune is not going to get denied. Ty will get this pretty easily. Yeah, we'll be 2 runes to both teams. KU going for something a little bit cheeky here, but unable to get any kind of rune bottom lane. Was looking for it with the Sleight of Fist into Rune Steal. It is possible. Meanwhile, top lane stuns are used on DOS. DOS already dead once again, and it's a good 3-man Dota gameplay there from Stepbro. I'm stuck, and once again, they're making DOS's life miserable. He has to TP into this lane now, and if we saw what happened last game where DOS dies immediately afterwards, then this is a disaster, because once again, TP will be on cooldown. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, though. Bottom lane, huge range creep deny. KT taking a lot of damage as well. But KT will be fine. Has a salve, has 3 tangos. And with the Venge not being here, it'll be a little bit harder to actually kill boss now. Only 2 stuns, rather than the 3 stuns we saw earlier for that first blood. Let's see here. There's a bit of harass going on in the bottom lane right now. They are, they used a stun there on KTA. I'm assuming that was purposeful to secure the range creep last hit, and it was successful at that. Range creep was not denied, the experience advantage not being an issue just yet. Stun is there on DOS. Teddy is level 2, has Sandstorm available. Meanwhile, bottom lane stun is used on CB. Chains is there from KU. CB trying to run, taking a lot of damage. Probably will die here, and does die. The kill will head over to KU. So 2 kills already. Stun is also used there on the Beast of US East. But at this point, they need to keep their courier alive, and it will die to Beast of US East. We'll bring it down there with that God's Rebuke. Simply one-shots that courier, so sad day to be KU's courier, but it'll be okay, it's a courier. Either way, though. So far, middle lane, going about as you'd expect. Medusa farming, Tide farming, Medusa 12-1, Tide 9-1. We saw last game very even CS between PMA and League of Legends, and appears to be the exact same thing this time. Obviously the matchup very different though. Last game we saw very standard OD versus Void Spirit. This game we're seeing Tide versus Medusa. One thing I am excited to see though is what Tide builds his items. Will we see like a minus armor oriented item build? You never know. Either way though, Malphite taking a good bit of damage there, but there's no Mangles available on Notorious, so there is no more spells available to use onto that Nyx Assassin of Malefic. KU actually might... Actually, never mind. Courier's alive. Courier's fine. All is well. There is no issues here. Clarity is cancelled. CB glancing that clarity there. Meanwhile, top lane Burrow is used, but not too much damage going out. We'll be fine either way. Sandstorm once again being very disruptive in this top lane. They do have a sentry ward there, but it's still not the easiest time in the world doing anything there. Chains is used there on Beast of US East. In comes the stun as well. They might go for this. I believe that was a very good dodge there from KU. I could be wrong, but either way. Now KTA taking a lot of damage. He's dropping low. Spear is there. Only one more hit there, at least from CB. Stroke of Fate will not be needed though. Right click will be enough. Down goes CB. Beast of UFC is very low, but KU lacks the damage to kill him for now. Meanwhile, in that top lane, Teddy taking a lot of damage. Does have Magic Wand, but the problem is he can't Sandstorm right here. If he does, the Sentry Ward is still there. And down goes Teddy. Did not remember the Sentry Ward's there, or was not aware of its existence. Either way, though, kill will head to Notorious. Very good Sentry Ward overall. Got a lot of value out of this ward right here. Either way, though, we're seeing a lot of damage with Stroke of Fate. Being very annoying. You know, Beast of US East being gone on. Inkswell is there. KU was speared away. There's possibly a little bit of anti-synergy. Either way, though, Mars trying not to die. Burrowing into the trees, but he's running away from safety. Stun is there from bench, as is the wave, as is the kill. 2 KU. He's now 2-0. Runes have spawned. CB looking for 2. Malefic probably looking for 2 as well. Teddy is there with the Sandstorm. Simply taking these creeps. And we will see 2 bounties per team. So a standard affair in that sense. Tide. He's stacking some of these medium camp creeps, looking to get whatever kind of CS he can. Trying to keep up with this Medusa, who has been hitting up the small camp with that Mystic Snake, killing that very easily. Missed a little bit of brawling top lane. Notorious forced to use that healing salve. He'll be fine for now, but he is still pretty low on mana at that. KU's Courier once again dies to the Beast of US East. It's a very sad day to be KU's Courier. Now at 2 deaths. Almost tempted to put a KU Courier counter in the corner of the screen. We are up to 2 at this point. But it'll be okay. I don't think there's anything important on the Courier. Either way, it's dead, so. We're seeing a chain there on the Beast of US East. Stun is used from bench. Ember is in. Stunned up by Inkswell. Mars dropping very low, but not dead just yet. Not much mana on Venge, but does have the stick, does have the mango. Meanwhile, top lane, Notorious gets stunned up by the Nyx and by the Sand King. He will die. Back in the bottom lane, though, they're once again onto the Mars. They have the chains, they have the Venge stun, and they once again will kill the Mars. Beast of US East having a much rougher laning phase than last game. Last game he was owning the laning phase, now he's 0-2-1. And KU once again looking for stuff. Venge Wave is there. They'll provide some vision. He's very deep. And now KU getting into the Courier killing spirit will kill the Courier of CB. And they will once again go for kill on Grimstroke. Oh, he dodges the spear there with Ember. A good dodge. In comes the Lich. Sinister Gaze is there. Ember dropping low. Has the Remnant. Will use 1. Stun is there from Lich. Ember, low on mana, has the chains. Will chains the Mars. Spear on cooldown. Will he chase? He will not be successful at chasing regardless. And if you're Ember, that was some beautiful execution there from KU. Dodges Spear, kills the Courier, kills the Grimstroke, doesn't die in the back end. And I believe he got 6 in the middle of that engagement at that, so a bit of fortuitous timing and a bit of just very good execution there. I was mentioning it in the pregame of the interactions between this Ember Spirit carry and this Mars. There's a lot of counterplay potential. And we're seeing it here. And now once Ember returns to the lane, he'll be in a great situation. He can be able to Remnant in here. And he will barely be able to Remnant in. Once again, dodges Spear. Though that one's probably more on the Mars than on the Ember. And now, once Mars hits 6, he can easily defensively Remnant out of the Mars ulti. So this is a very good game to be Ember. The question is, though, what will the Ember do later in the game? That's a question for later in the game. Bottom lane, once again, the defensive Remnant is up. Bit of a risky spot, but it should be fine. Boss, he's farming. Malefic, he is invis. Has mangoes. Will stun up there. In comes Tide with the Gush. Anchor Smash is there. Lycan is 6. In comes the Ravage. They are not playing games. DOS goes down. Stun is there. It's onto the Lich. Notorious dropping low. He will die as well. 2 kills to the Radiance. And KTA. Yeah, I believe we saw a Mars off the use bottom. And Ember completely dodging it thanks to that defensive Remnant. Or it might have been on Venge. Either way, it was unsuccessful. And that's one of the big strengths of Mars being negated. Usually you go for that arena, you get some kind of kill, some kind of action, and it's on cooldown with no kill. Now, bench, trading with wave, hits CB, a lot of damage there. There's the slight, there's the chains, one more hit, KU goes down. Spear is available, but he has no friends. He has no backup. And they might even go on in bottom. Never mind, they will not. Chains. Move up the creep rather than the Mars. 50-50 play there, unsuccessful. Had a hit, might have been another kill there onto that Mars. Meanwhile, in the jungle, seeing Das farm. Get one over CS he can. Him and Medusa both ricing pretty heavily. Austin Medusa, a lot more last hits. She's currently at the lead with 97 last hits versus Tide 79, though jungle creeps will mess with that. They will go on to KTA, looking for a D-Ward. He gets the bounty rune at that, but he'll certainly pay with his life for this. Meanwhile, Mars taking a lot of damage, does get stunned. Mars Arena will be successful this time. KU uses a slight, but has low mana, tries to Remnant, but has no mana to Remnant. So very good kills there from the Dire. Both kills headed to Doss's Lycanthrope. And now for Doss, he should be number 1. Never mind, he's number 5 in net worth. I don't know why I thought he'd be number 1 in net worth, but they are key kills for the Lycan. We had a bit of a rough lane there into that Sand King. Once again, died right after the minute 0 horn. But he's doing alright for himself. Certainly not as behind as his Jug was last game. KTA is there, will swap on Doss. Stun is there. In comes Radiant. They have no Ravage. On cooldown for 20. Doss is a TP. And they will kill KTA. KU is there. Has the chains. Has 2 remnants. Doss probably dead here. Silence is there onto Tide, but there is no running and there is no escaping. 1-for-1 trade. Venge for the Lycan. Very favorable for the Stepbro I'm stuck Radiant side. And Mars will deny that top tower. Sand King unable to get that last hit up there, and looks like Sand King will opt for an Ags here this game. Has 2 components already. Nyx going on Lich, has the Mango, will not opt for the stun, will opt for the mana burn, and he'll just simply die. Not like dying there. Ravage available. It's on Lich, down goes Lich, Dusa is there. Dusa has relatively low mana, but there's not enough follow-up just yet. And it's not a great trade there for Stepbro I'm stuck. They commit the Ravage, they commit the Vendetta, and they still trade their Nyx for a single Lich, and their tower still dies. So overall, if you're 5 average dudes, you have to be extremely content with what just happened. We're seeing a lot of heroes move around though. Mars was bottom, went top, now middle. Entire top lane area abandoned for Dire. They might move a Lycan there at some point. Right now, Lycan and Dusa, they're playing in the similar area of the map, playing in this tri-camp area. Boss has Necro 2, however. They might go for some kind of play here with the smoke. Mars ulti is there. It's on KTA. In comes Malefic, stuns up Beast of the US East. Benjdo still alive. Soulbind is there. Onto 2. Ember is in as well, but in comes the Lycan. He's chasing. Trocafate is there, slowing up the Nyx, but they do not find any other kills. Chains is there. It's on Doss's Lycan, as is the Gush. In comes Sand King, but does not have that blink, has not finished the Ags yet. And looks like it will solely be the Mars dying. Alright. We're calling that an interesting chain of events. You expect with as many abilities and as many heroes being committed that there'd be more than a solitary kill, but it will only be the Mars dying. Mars having a bit of a rough time right now. Only has Phase with Soul Ring. Nowhere close to, say, Blink Dagger, Falcon Blade, Yules, whatever. Might not have it for a while. A lot of space on the map right now is being occupied by that Dusa and by that Lycan, of course. And now we see Doss. Still has no boots, but is coming up on Necro 3. Who needs boots if you have Necro 3, I suppose? Looks like, we'll be stunned there onto Mars bottom lane. White once again die. Burrow is there. Effie is there. They will kill him, probably. He's certainly dead here. Spear is used. Notorious will be the casualty as well. Lich ulti is used. Tries using Gaze on Tide, but Tide easily purges it. And Tide is easily fine as well. So we're seeing some very important kills there for Stepbro on Stuck. But the important kills they're not getting are on the Dusa. Dusa right now, number 1 in net worth. Not by a country mile, but by about a 1k margin. Has double damager and will look to continue to CS. But in a similar story what happened last game, but on the reverse side, we're seeing one very farmed core. Last game it was the Terrorblade, now it's the Medusa. And all 3 cores of the enemy team are there. DOS, though, has the finished Necro 3, going to Malefic, and they don't even need a stun. They kill him in that TP duration. Tip comes out from PMA. And DOS is looking for more. He is chasing Teddy, has the Necro 3, will have the detection. Where's the burrow? Does not use it, uses it now. Stuns up the Lycan, then comes the Inkswell. Sand King's certainly dead here. Goes for a caustic finale play, cannot find it. Another kill to the Dire. But they will get the counter kill onto the Lich. Meanwhile, PMA is out of mana. Uses Stone Gaze, will stone up 1, but the swap is there. Probably will save KU. KU has the mana to escape. Will he use it? Tries to. 1 remnant there, 1 remnant as well. Will escape. Silence is there, but he can kill it off. Stroke of Fate, though, from CB. It's at the edge of the cast. Nearly pixel perfect there from CB. That's a very, very important kill on KU. Had the Ember have escaped, that entire fight is different, but instead, you save your Dusa, and you kill the Ember. Absolute disaster. But this is, once again, another exciting game. A lot of brawling going on across the map. This is a constant brawling of heroes. The thing we're waiting on now probably is that Lycan ulti. It's on cooldown for 35. Once it's available again, we will once again see Lycan running heroes. See, maybe we don't even need the ulti. The Necro is popped. They're going on Malefic. Malefic has Vendetta, and he is stunned, but the Vendetta a little less effective when the Necro 3 is available. However, Radiant, they're congregating in the top lane. They want to kill DOS. He has no boots. In comes Sand King, has the burrow, in comes the Venge with the wave. Epi is there. DOS certainly dying. And they will try to farm Necro units as well, but meanwhile, in comes Tide, looking for Mars. Mars has no ulti, cooldown for 6 seconds. Notorious taking a lot of damage, Sinister Gaze is there, in comes the Sand King, has the burrow, down goes Notorious, CB doing everything he can, throwing at every one of his spells basically. And it actually might work, the Mars now alive, might have saved his life. And he will escape with his own life as well. CB popping off right now. But overall, it's still very good for the Radiant. You once again kill DOS. You once again kill Notorious. And you now start to head towards the mid tower. Looking at that mid tower kill. And Dire simply running over to the Tri-Camp again. But we are seeing that sleeping giant Medusa. Has Sanjin Yasha. Working on Butterfly. Close to the Eagle Song at that. Will buy the Eagle Song. She is accumulating stats. Malefic in the back line looking for the stun. Splits the wickets a little bit, is not able to hit either. Ravage is there, it's on 3, in comes DOS, Necro is there, down goes Notorious, down goes CB, DOS is hitting KTA, in comes Stone Gaze, we're all on the run, Mars ulti, it's on 3, it's huge, down goes the Vent, Sand King dropping low, Sand King goes away, Ember goes away as well, they're still trying to run, the Mars still alive, he's now dead, KU on the run, but he has no remnants, the Tide, he's in the front, Lycan, he's out of ultimate, he's out of Necro books almost. Never mind, he still has half the units, but either way, great team fight there for the Radiants. Managed to completely negate that amazing Mars ultimate there from Beast of US East. Ember and Sand King both easily able to escape it. And Malefic, he is Vendetta. He will get caught there by the Sentry. Gaze is there, but Malefic is still fine. There's the Purge from that Necro unit. Chains is there on both of the Dire supports. Malefic still alive. PMA is here on Dusa. Has about half mana. Once again, it's a huge double Lich ulti. Down goes the Tide and the Ember. And KTA might die as well. DOS is chasing. Now has Shreds. Has the Necro. Will Bullwhip. Will Purge. Down goes Sand King. To the Mars on the other side of the fights. And it will be 4 for 0. For 5 average dudes. Another great team fight. And they're fighting fight after fight on their terms. Medusa still has not died yet. Doss doing a lot of damage with that Necro book, and despite a lot of individual plays being made by Stepbro, I'm stuck. They're not enough to win the fight, and as you can tell, I mean, that was a great play there between CB and Notorious. Like, we're seeing this Soulbind combined with the Chain Frost, and it's the double ulti absolutely melted the Tide and the Ember Spirit. It's just so much damage. This is why you see this combo so often. It's a very, very strong combo. Alright. Now we're seeing Dire. They are retreating from that Radiant Jungle. Got one ward up here. Got one ward up there. Have some good vision on KU. But KU will simply walk forward. He'll be fine. Looking over at Smokes. We do see one used. Malefic, he is Vendetta. He is smoked. I believe Ember is shoved, but the rest of his teammates not so. Burrow is there. Onto Medusa. Mana Shield barely got off in time, but she will melt. Meanwhile, Lycan, he's going in with that ultimate, trying to go in. Mars, Soulbind is used. It's on 2. Chain Frost as well. Lots of damage. Ravage is used. It's onto 2. But in comes the Mars. Ulti's on 3. Down goes KTA. Down goes Nafi. Down goes CB. Down goes Notorious. Down goes CB. And the Tide is absolutely melting. He's dead as well. Now it's KU fighting the 1v2. Has no remnants. They're on cooldown for 13 seconds. Chains is there. Will hit it on DOS. But Beast of US East has the blink. Has the spear. But it'll miss. And the chase is for the tip of his teammate. But KU still taking a lot of damage. Remnant is there. Once again used. Will TP away. Barely in time. Spear a little bit too late. Will not stop the TP. And my god. Like, we once again see that great combo there between Notorious and CB. The double Chain Frost. And it has to be something on the mind of Stepbro. I'm stuck. Despite the amazing initiation on the Medusa, they nearly caught her without the Mana Shield. She barely got the Mana Shield off at the end of her life, but they need to start thinking, alright, Grimstroke Lich. These guys are literally doing damage. We need to stop them, and that's when it gets difficult. There's just so many important targets for Stepbro. I'm stuck. It seems like no matter who they go on, the fights are not going well for them. But Malefic is diving this Lich. Will try to go for the kill, but he is stunned by Mars. Burrow is there. It's only on 1, but it's only the only one they need. Right now it's a 2-for-1 trade. Medusa is just right-clicking. Stone Gaze is there. KTA goes down. It's a 3-for-2 trade so far. Doss has not shown up to the fight just yet with that ulti. Has the shapeshift if he wants it. But at this point, it's the harder kills to maintain. I mean, Ember, Tide, not easy kills. Medusa, basically playing with no fear at this point. Despite that death, she still has a good amount of stats right now. 1.3k mana, 1.5k HP, evasion, status resistance. Now has lifesteal, working towards Satanic. Looking over at the Radiant Network leader, it's Tide. I asked myself, what is Tide gonna buy? The answer is Vlad's Deso going into Blink. So a bit of a hybrid between the more right-click oriented minus armor Anchor Smash Tide and the more traditional Blink Initiator. I like it. It makes sense. Looking over at Ember, has finished BKB. That is a fresh BKB. Did not have it in the last fight. Will certainly come in handy up against this, and this. So it's a very important BKB. Not a name you see very often on Ember, but this game, it's probably a necessity. Chains is there on Notorious's Lich. Probably will go down here, but can they get the counter kill? BKB is there. And once again, the key BKB usage from KU. Ravage is there. It's on Doss. They want the kill. Stun is there. He's dropping low. Doss is like him. He's dead. Double kill for KU. And it's basically a repeat of last game. KU has a rough time in the fights, buys BKB, Fire Average Dudes expects KU to just die to stuns, and then he pops the BKB and lives. You saw it in Terrorblade, basically at the exact same area of the map last game, is right over here, and now we're seeing it used on Ember right here. And the difference though between this game and last game is Stepbro, I'm stuck, has a lot of work to do. They don't have the advantage of having the better late game team. They have to start sieging, and they have to start sieging now. Glyph is used by Dire. Mars is there, as is the Lich. He uses armor on tower. Does he have an Aether Lens? No, he has a pretty long cast range. And they will look to smoke here, it appears. Yeah, smoke is available. They will smoke 4. PMA still farming. Does Radiant know? They appear not to know. And they will start to go into Malefic, but it's not the best kill in the world. The Purge, it is used. They will go on Malefic. He will die. But they're going to need more than a simple Nyx Assassin kill with the smoke gank. They might need to go for a tower. They might need to go for a subsequent kill. KU split pushing in the top lane. And as it currently stands, Dire, they're looking for more, but they appear to be unable to get it. Shapeshift is now on cooldown. And Tidehunter even grabs the bounty rune, but Dire know, and they're going to chase, and they know the Blink's on cooldown. He will taunt, but the Mars ulti... Mars Spear... It was the Mars ulti. Spear will miss, but it will not matter. In comes CB, dropping his full arc, not full arc, but a lot of his spells. In comes Notorious with that gaze. Will be instantly purged by Kraken Shell, but it won't matter. He still dies. And, bit of a cheeky play, got a little bit too greedy for that bounty rune. Does get brought down. However, it is a space-created moment. Yeah, you spam that on your chat wheel. KU is able to push in that top lane, but the problem is Dire is able to mirror that movement. They now have 5 heroes, including the Lycan and the Dusa. However, there is still backdoor, so we'll keep it alive for a little bit longer. The Glyph is there, heals that damage, kills off a couple, actually no units die. Mars pops the Bulwark active of all things. But the tower, it probably was dead anyways, but now it's super dead. Siege unit is there. Meanwhile, Malefic is there, but the Sentry is there from Notorious. In comes Vendetta hit, in comes the Mana Burn, but it's not enough damage. Spike Carapace is used, trying for every little bit of damage, but Notorious is still alive. Inkswell is there, CB is there with the Silence. And Nyx still alive. Now, in the base, the more important kills, Teddy goes down. Tide trying to go for a counter kill or two here. But Nyx still alive, Lich still alive. Doss on the run. He's into Shapeshift. He gets stunned there by Malefic. Malefic finally goes down. Had my eyes on him for the last 35 seconds. Will finally be deceased. Teddy will buy back. Malefic also has buyback if Radiant wants to hold. But Dire already have that tier 3. They did a very good amount of sieging. Miles busy watching Nyx Assassin make space. Dire, however, they are on the run. They say, you know what, we're fine. First to buy back, all is well. Radiant looking to chase. They did Remnant in onto Ember, but they will not find any Dire heroes. There are the Lycan units middle lane, but they will escape just fine. No wolves dying and no Necro units dying. All is well. Doss does have a 10-second BKB. Did not use it in the last fight. Probably was saving it for a key Burrow or a key Ravage. Ravage was not used. Sand King did die. Dusa also has that 10-second BKB, so this game's coming out. We've got key BKBs earlier from KU, but I mean, these are even more key BKBs for the Dire side. Now if you're Dusa and if you're Lycan, it's going to be so much harder for Radiant to do anything, because BKB really negates a lot of what the team does. I mean, Tide Ravage does not go through BKB. Sand King Everything does not go through BKB. A lot of Ember's damage does not go through BKB either. So this game becomes harder and harder. And if you can get a double damage into a Roche kill, it only becomes that much harder. Roche dropping very low. Medallion is there from Notorious. Radiant, they do know. BKB is used by Doss. They're not playing games here. Aegis will go to PMA. Doss dropping low. Doss may die here. In comes Teddy. Has the FD, has the Burrow. Ravage is used. Basically, if nobody, they'll bank those BKBs. Now, Sand King dropping low. Tide dropping low. They'll both die. And Medusa's still full HP, full mana, has the Aegis. Hits KTA with the tail end of that BKB. Try the double damage, I should say. Mars will die, however, to the combo of the Ember and the Nyx Assassin, and it's actually only Nyx left, or it's only the Medusa left. Shiva is used by Ember, and they will look to kill Medusa twice. She's down on all her mana. And now, can she fight again? Ember, he's getting mana from the fountain. Looking to turn more, Venge, looking for a swap, will swap there. In comes the Venge stun, nixes the stun as well in 1 second, will use it onto PMA. Ember, meanwhile, has more HP, more mana than before, and will get the kill onto PMA. And what should have been a great fight for Dire is an utter and complete disaster. They lose the Aegis, and they lose all 5 heroes in what ended up being like a 55-second fight. And Ember's looking for more, almost kills Notorious, that's crazy. Had they have coordinated the Nyx stun better, carapacing that Frost Shield in the tower, they even could have killed the Lich as well. One thing that saved them was, never mind, he would have been still dead. The Glimmer from CB would have saved him. Thought for a second it was the Glimmer from the Lich, but it was the Glimmer from the Grimstroke, so it would not have mattered. But Stepbro, I'm stuck. They're resilient. They say, you know what, we don't care there's a Lycan Deuce on the other team. We don't care there's all these heroes that scale well into the late game. We have a Tidehunter. He is a massive fish. He will do damage. And Lycan, he is... Wait a minute, we're seeing a Mars ult to use onto Ember. They will try to kill him, but he does have a BKB. BKB is popped, doing a lot of damage here with that Shiva's Guard. Down goes CB, down goes Notorious, KTA. He's very low as well, but Ember's still alive. KTA will die. In comes Malefic. Break is there onto Lycan, but BKB is still active. Tide looking. Tide cannot find it. Mars blinks away. Tide blink available in 8s, but still not great there for Dire. Only get Avenge. They are unable to kill the Ember, who was the goal of the team fight. Actually, not team fight, but of the skirmish. And they will lose some damage on that tier 2 middle. Mars is there. In comes the Ravage. It's on 3. It's huge. In comes the Ember. Combo is there. BKBs are popped, but it's a little bit too late. Or perhaps not. Even though Doss is dead, Teddy is still alive. There is no Necrobook to go there. This is crazy. In Radiant, they are pushing every advantage they have. They knew Dire was not together. They fought here on Dire, but the thing is, they didn't have Dusa alive. Dusa respawns, support's still on cooldown, but as supports are respawning, Doss dies. So Stepbro, I'm stuck. They're playing very, very good Dota right now. And they not finished the BKB on Teddy. It's BKBs on all 3 cores. Correction, BKBs on all 6 cores, because all cores have BKB. It's a very good game to buy BKB at this point. And now, Sand King, he will get stunned by a spear, but he will burrow away successfully. Mars ulti was used, but a little bit too late to kill Teddy there on that Sand King. Malefic stunning up East of US East. In comes Tide, in comes Sand King. Stepbro is there. In comes the Ember, has that Aghanim Scepter now. Looking for support from the backline. Is killing CB. CB is dead, as is Notorious. Looking for Beast of US East. Remnant once again. BKB is popped. He's keeping. There is a swap. It cancels. And now Spear is there. It brings the Tide back. The Burrow will miss, but he's still dead. 3 kills for Stepbro. I'm stuck. They just won't die. They take a situation which 10 minutes ago looked pretty dire, and now they are in an absolutely massive lead. And they're no high ground now. They say, you know what? I don't care that Dire pierces tier 3 high ground. I don't care with the buyback. I don't care they got the Aegis. We're going to win some Dota 2. And if they can get a key high ground siege here, they might try to do it. But Fire Edge dudes will not die either. They will be alive on 4 heroes soon. They have the buyback on the Mars if they want to defend as 5. And they will have all their abilities together. Doss split pushing in the bot lane. The Malefic also bringing in the opposing top lane. And Radiant simply will have to retreat, respecting the possibility of both the Lycan counter push in the bottom lane, as well as a buyback from that Mars. Now they will scan. They scanned exactly where Doss was, but at this point it's too late. Doss already gone. Will not get caught by the gankers of the Radiant squad. One thing we haven't really talked about much is Medusa's stagnation in terms of item build. She was far and ahead the #1 net worth player earlier. Now she's #2. Still not finished the Titanic just yet. She can buy it, but she will lose the buyback if she has it. She is short of buyback by... Never mind, she now has it. So we'll see a finished Satanic here. Might be just in time for this team fight. Radiant. They are a little bit smoked. Tide might look for a jump. Looking at Radiant Vision, what do they see? Not too much, but they do see Mars. Stun is there. Burrow is there from the Sand King. But the BKB is there from the Mars. The Burrow Nyx Assassin on the other side of the fight. Doss goes immediately down. Cannot get the BKB off. Does not have buyback. Burrow is there. It's Notorious, who's taking a lot of damage. Chain Frost is there, but to not much of an effect. Ember, chasing for more, looking for chains. Does not find them, but does have one more Sleight of Fist. Will not use it for the chains. Will instead grab mana from the fountain. And we're just seeing like these fights go so much differently now that Dire's not getting their key fight combos off. We're not seeing the double Chain Frost. Obviously, it's a lot harder with the BKBs being up. The BKBs, they're just so effective, and there's still a little for the Radiance. There's a buyback from the Taurus, but there is no buyback on Doss. PMA is there. He is the turret. He is killing the units. And they will defend. At the cost of 1 tower and 1 buyback. There's a very significant wave in the bottom. Actually, not that significant, but there is 2 siege units. There's that rain creep. Radiant will have to mine that, but I mean Tide, Ember, both in the area. It looks like Ember will be the one to kill it. And there's that very large top wave as well. Looks like Lycan does have that shard, one that does summon a wolf with every one random uncontrollable wolf of the wave. We're seeing it push out the lanes very effectively. Obviously top lane very pushed in. Bottom wave was pretty pushed in. And as Radiant is de-pushing, Dire goes for the smoke. Malefic's illusions. Unable to scout thanks to that smoke. Ember's very deep here. Looks for Doss. BKB is popped. On the other side of the fight though, Mars ulti is used. Down goes Malefic. Carry top and low. BKB is there. He gets right click down. Meanwhile, KU trying to escape. Will Remnant once has more available. Will be fine for now, but Mars has a blink. Looks for the spear. Barely misses. Meanwhile, Dire taking opportunity in the Roche pit. Meanwhile, Beast of Beauty is fighting up the Tide. Tide, full HP, Mars, not so much. Chains is there, in comes Remnant, Mars dropping low, but in comes Dire, the saves trying to be used, swap is there, onto KU, taking a lot of damage, chases further, CB goes down, 2 for 2 so far, Bench dropping low, Bench taking a lot of damage, but still stuns. Notorious, he's once again dead. And meanwhile, we're seeing on the end of the fight, KU trying to fight this Medusa. Will escape with the Remnants. And there's still more fighting going on. KU's once again brawling with Doss, but Doss once again dies to Tidehunter. Another huge hit there from the Deso. And this is unbelievable. These fights are just unbelievably chaotic. Overall, it's a win. Dire lost more heroes. Dire used a buyback. Dire was unable to get the Roshan pit, so even strategically they are falling behind. And Radiant, with that Tide, with that Venge, may go for the Roshan themselves. Tide and Venge are in the area that is all the minus armor they need, but they are still missing. KU currently will be traveling into that top wave, may look for the Roshan. Malefic, he's scouting, snags the haste rune, drains mana on PMA. In Radiant, they will now head into Roshan pit. The Dire, they're aware. The ward is literally right there. They clearly saw them walk into the Roche pit. The problem is, they simply don't have the ability to stop it. It's dying simply too fast. Radiant. And the Roshan. Aegis, head over to KU. Cheese will head over to the Tidehunter. And the tier 4 items are now coming out. Looking over at Radiant, currently they don't have any. Looking over at Dire, they have 3. Timeless Relic will be there on the Lich. And a Telescope will be there on the Grimstrokes. That is pretty huge. We'll see additional BKB as well from PMA thanks to that Minotaur Horn. And Dire, They're recognizing, alright, this game's kind of a disaster right now. We don't have time for other items. We are straight up going to buy a rapier on Dusa. Certainly a good hero to carry it. The problem is, she won't even have the time to finish it. Unless they can defend this high ground. Radiant, they're scouting for kills, but Dire completely in the base, completely in this circle, playing extremely defensively for good reasons. Looking at Dire vision, they are aware somewhat, but KTA manages to D-ward, so now they're playing relatively blind. Meanwhile, over on Radiant, you see absolutely nobody, but there's only so many places they can be right now, and that's basically sitting on their high ground. Ember Spirit hits the bottom tier 2. Nyx is scouting, looking for pretty cheeky, greedy defenders. Will not find one because there are none currently. In the tower, we'll head to the Radiant. Guys, every outer tower of that Dire now being dead. They will retreat for now. They will mine their lanes. Ember will once again travel into that top lane. We'll take out that top wave. We're seeing him transition his build. Before he had that phase boost, he was going for a much more active sort of spellcaster sort of thing. But now he has traveled, he has the Mjolnir. He's recognizing that, alright, I actually need to de-push these waves very significantly. And he's doing a very good job at that. Meanwhile, Dire, they're being choked out economically. They're farming a very small area of the map, simply sitting on this high ground. Dusa is still farming, but Doss not farming that much. They do Inksoul a creep top lane to push things out, but Radiant, they are maintaining this perimeter, waiting until they have the right opportunity with this Aegis. They still do have it for 2.5 more minutes. KU may fish a little bit, has defensive remnant, has BKB, has Aegis, has a lot of defensive tools here. We'll chain this Medusa. But we'll simply sit there for now. Radiant pushing out all 3 lanes. Possibly the jump, maybe in the middle lane. Swap, never mind, that's not a swap. That is an Ember sound effect. Vend is over here still. Pushing out top lane. As it currently stands, we are waiting. The patience is... it's palpable, you know what I mean? Radiant waiting for the right opportunity. Dire trying not to give it. There's an attempt to stun there from Mars. Will miss the spear. Malefic is burrowed. Gaze is there onto Ember, but he's still fine. There's the Gaze. Moving on a bunch. Ravage, it's on 3 in the back lines. So both supports on Dire already dead. Mark Ulti is there. We'll catch a lot of these Radiant heroes. Ember taking a lot of damage, but it's not enough. He's still alive. Still has the Aegis at that PMA. He's dead meanwhile. Has no mana. Will buy it back. Down goes Das, and he will not have a buyback, nor will any of the other dead heroes on the Dire. If they're fighting, it'll be a 5v2, and a 5v2 into an... still the Aegis. The cheese was used by the Tide in the middle of that fight, I believe. Never mind, cheese wasn't even used, it's just now on the Sand King. So now, this could be the ultimate fight. The penultimate fight did not go very well there for the Dire, and now this is being gone on. No longer has buyback. Minotaur Horn is used, but there is the swap. Satanic available, but is not able to get it off in time. Will go down. Down goes Beast of US East. Lich is alive, but there's only a buyback on that Mars. They will buy back. They will look for one last fight. Even if it is difficult, even if they are down 2 racks, they say, you know what, we will try to do whatever we can here. The Radiant, they care not. They're on to tier 4s. Mars will miss Spear. Stuns up from KTA. Chains will be on 1. Down goes Mars. Down goes Lich. Everybody's dead. Chain Frost is there, but ultimately not enough damage. Even the smoke is there. And GG's called. Game is over. 2-0 victory for Stepbro and Stuck. And look at him in a very difficult game. Ended up being a pretty big victory there for Stepbro and Stuck. They maneuvered extremely well in those mid-game team fights. And we saw it in the last game, where they were behind from some of the early skirmishes. They looked pretty rough in terms of game position, But Stepbro and Stuck took the very smart team fights. They grouped together, they found the pickoffs they needed, they pushed the lanes out when they needed to, and they just didn't make the important strategic mistakes. And for 5 average dudes, what was 2 winnable games turns into a 0-2 loss for them. Stepbro and Stuck still towards the top of that League of Lads record table. 5 average dudes still looking to make it into the playoffs, however. Still in a relatively good spot at that. And overall, looking at that game, it was just... The only way to really describe it is outmaneuvered. Like, despite some very good individual play, it just really wasn't enough. They simply got chased down, they got run down, they got outmaneuvered, they got out-executed in the team fights, and for Stepbro and Stuck, it's a well-deserved 2-0 victory. Obviously, thanks for watching some more League of Lads Season 6 action. Solo casted by yours truly. Probably done with solo casting for the season. Obviously, planned on having some co-casters for tonight. Did not work out. Both of them were unable to make it for various reasons. One of them being automobile related. One of them being I don't know, like power screwdriver related, I guess. I'm not sure how to describe that one, but either way, thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys have a good night, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon for some more Dota 2 commentary. Peace.